What's up guys, welcome back to another video, here again with my co-host Quan.
Hello, everyone.
I hope you guys are having a great holiday and an amazing new year. Speaking on that, our video will be on what are the worst new year parties some redditors have had. Alright, let's get started. Here's the first story by Mr. Lionman21. I went to a mate's New Year's party once and he just got out of the pool. He asked me to go get his phone because he didn't want to walk water through his house. I get to his room and walk in on a threesome, and luckily they somehow didn't see me. That's important later. So I turn around, go back downstairs and tell him. This guy is a master of public humiliation, so he tells me to be next to the stairs and video. I was reluctant, but he insisted. Anyways, he goes into his room, grabs most of their clothes and chucks it out the window. Then a bloke and two girls come running out, mostly naked, and outside to not be seen again. So how do you feel about that story, Quan?
Well, first off, right off the bat, I think that guy is a little bit of a douchebag. I think it was completely unnecessary to ruin a guy's dreams. You know, he was having a threesome, and what I noticed from the story was that there was no description of the woman. So my assumption is that they were probably a good 6 out of 10, maybe a little bit a little bit higher than that. But I didn't see any descriptive notations about the woman.
Right. So what would you have done if you were like in that situation?
I don't think I would have told him. The saying, what happens in something stays in something, right? I think that's something you just gotta gatekeep.
So you wouldn't have told him anything about his phone, or what would you have done
No,
about his
no.
phone?
I think I probably would have hidden the phone and be like, "Hey, man, your phone's not up here, but I found it on the hallway." You know.
But
Um,
his phone was in the room while that was going on, so he had to go back downstairs and tell him something.
no, you're right. Actually, shoot. I guess he very well could have been like someone's in there having some decencies going on, but I don't want to interrupt that. I just my eyes are bleached. Can you imagine what I've just seen?
Yeah, that is one way to go about it.
Well, I mean, either way, I'm sure a lot of people saw that, considering that they ran out the house and they were never seen again. So hopefully they got their clothes.
Now imagine if you were the guy in that bedroom right there.
I mean, at that point, I mean, surely the guy must have had like a bunch of like towels or clothes that he could have found like inside that bedroom, even though they weren't his. You know, someone checks out your stuff. You can't go out there like that.
He could have taken the sheets at least.
Exactly. I mean, there might have been cream on it, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, I would have if I was the guy that was actually going, doing the action. I want to say I don't even think it was as bad as it may have seemed, because it was a pool party, right?
Yeah, well, it was just a party, but he had a pool in there, so I guess you could call it a pool party.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Now I wonder if he had the pool inside the house, or you think he had it like in the backyard?
No, he definitely had it in the backyard because he didn't want the water to get inside the house.
Well, then where does he live then? Like, what's close to the equator? I mean, southern Mexico, maybe, because this is New Year's.
That is true. It had to be
This is a
chilly.
New Year's party. Yeah, it must have been it must have been very, very cold. I'm sure a lot of people must have gotten some chicken skin.
Especially the people running out.
Yeah, what a story. I mean, I think it's a pretty good story. That's a pretty good story. Right, now this next one is by Big Eyed Fish 96, about 7 years ago. So let's get into this one. A few years ago, my mom and stepdad took us all out drinking on New Year's. We are not a heavy drinking family. We got absolutely shit-faced. Some dude started hitting on my mom and at one point smacked her ass. This caused a standoff which should have only been verbal, but someone threw a beer bottle and hit my stepdad. It turned into an all-out brawl. Our whole group against a group of drunken rednecks. We all beat the crap out of one another. My stepbrother had his ear almost completely ripped off. I broke my arm, and my best friend had shattered his eye socket. We all ended up in the hospital that night. It was so stupid. It got out of control and was a dangerous situation. They ended up taking 6 of us to the ER. Right now, based off of that, what do you think?
God, well, first of all, I feel bad for the mom for, being touched like that without her consent. That's honestly just a crazy story overall. Getting into a brawl, your best friend almost shattering his eye socket, and then everybody getting to the hospital. I really wonder if anybody got charged.
That's a good question. Now, the real question is, well, I mean, this might be obvious, but who do you feel for the most? The best friend who had his eye socket completely shattered, or the mother that got sexually assaulted?
Honestly, the best friend, if I'm being honest, because you never know, that could result to problems later on.
Actually, you're probably right. Yeah, I mean, on one end you got physical pain, on the other end you have like ego pain, right?
Yeah, either way, a shattered eye socket, you're covering that up for a while. You gotta get surgery.
Yeah.
That would be really, really bad.
Yeah, I mean, then again, it also mentions a bunch of rednecks. You know how strong rednecks are, man?
Yeah, that is true. I work with a couple, so just by the looks of that, it would be a painful brawl right there.
I mean, I wonder how many it was.
Oh, that too. I wonder if it was just like stepbrother, the best friend, and the stepdad, and him, or like if there was any cousins or anything like that.
Oh my God, you think the mom got into it as well?
Oh, who knows? There might have been like a redneck lady there, tossing it up with the mom.
I'll tell you what, the bartender must have had a blast that night.
Well, I hope he got tipped good, because, well, either way, if he didn't get tipped good, he got a show for free.
Oh, absolutely. And there is a comment that was left underneath. It says, last year I got crossfaded and ended up throwing up for several hours at a friend's party. It was a bad day. So he piggybacked off of that. So it looks like a lot of people do end up being some heavy drinkers during the New Year's.
That is true, especially if, depending on your situation, you might not have anybody to spend it with, or just in general, you might just like drinking.
Yeah.
Hey guys, here's the next story. It's by Walk Before You Call 187, and it goes like this. I hosted a New Year's party at my house for the first time since other friends usually host. I spent all of December planning. Long story short, a random kid who wasn't invited showed up, got absolutely pissed drunk, and ended up falling out our 3rd floor window and cracking his head upon like a watermelon. He died before he even made it to the hospital, and that's not all. He was also underage, which nearly got me in a ton of trouble, as the cops thought I invited him. Thankfully, literally everyone at the party backed me in, saying no one knew him, nor invited him. To this day, no one knows who invited him, regardless. RIP. Dang, so first of all, I want to say RIP to that guy. I'm not sure who he was, but any thoughts on that, Quan?
Dear, I wonder if he had a funeral. That's terrible. I mean, three stories. That's a big amount of height right there. That's a pretty high up place.
Yeah.
And to fall head first on, and then literally describing his head cracking open like a watermelon, meaning that his head must have been busted open. Like, I mean, no amount of stitches is gonna put that together.
I mean, I live on the 3rd story, and I can imagine falling down. That would really, really hurt.
I feel for the actual host though, because they spent the whole December planning it. I can imagine him. I can imagine that person bringing out the calendar, the whiteboard, a few notes, maybe even visiting Party City, on her weekends or on their weekends, and for them to almost literally get charged for an underage person that wasn't invited to go up and, get pissed drunk and like literally die, and who knows who paid the ambulance, right? Whether it was his insurance, well, I don't even know if it was a boy or girl, but whether it was their insurance or the host paid out of pocket, regardless, that's terrible.
I can't imagine like putting all that time into it for it just to go downhill like that.
How long do you think that the trial was going on for this in terms of like taking responsibility for the person that was invited, that wasn't invited, that died?
I would say probably like around, give or take a year, depending if the family wanted to put charges or well, press charges on the person that hosted it. I don't know how it would all work out, especially with everybody not knowing who he was.
Yeah.
But it's still sad. You gotta feel for them, for well, on both sides of the parties, you know.
Yeah. I mean, in one end, it was supposed to be an amazing party that took a whole month to plan. But on the other hand, it ended in travesty. And, who knows how much they probably had to pay a lawyer as well, which which stacks up to more bills. But yeah, I don't think that person would be throwing a party anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't either. That was probably the last party they threw. It was 6 years ago.
Do you think they moved out of that place?
Definitely. I wouldn't want to live there anymore if that happened to me.
That's terrible, man. I went to a club at the Hard Rock with my friend and met up with some other people. We eventually started breaking off and I ended up talking to a couple of chicks. One was definitely liking me more than the other one and we started kissing and stuff. After about an hour of nonsense and foolishness, the girl I'd been messing around with went to the bathroom. Moments later, her friend was up on me and then we started kissing. Needless to say, I had ensured the remainder of the evening would be interesting one way or another. For about an hour or so, I was messing around with both of them, but one of the girls was unaware of this. My friend, myself, and these two girls decided to leave, so we went to the car and got in. I think they were giving us a ride to our car. These two girls had been getting a little snappy with each other now, and it started getting more and more aggressive in nature. Next thing I know, the girl had stopped her car in the parking garage, and these two chicks get out and started fighting and rolling around on the ground. I was pretty drunk and was over all of the noise, so I just got out and walked away. A few minutes later, my friend called me to figure out where I was. Then he picked me up in his car, and we got home somehow. Now, question for you, sir. Do you think that these girls have done this before?
I probably think so. If
We should think that.
if they're fighting over the same guy, it doesn't really seem like they're good friends.
Yeah?
For example, let me put it. Me and you go to a bar.
Okay.
It's two girls. They
Yeah.
both want Quan. Wouldn't it be wiser for one of them to call dibs?
That's a good point.
Instead, the one that's already all up on you, she goes to the bathroom. And now the friend, she's like, oh, come here, baby. You're telling me that's a friend to you.
I wonder if they were best friends and they just like to argue a lot.
Oh,
Damn it, hold on. I'm gonna cut that out, bro. You gotta cut that out.
no, sir, this one stays, alright?
Okay. Alright, go ahead.
Honestly, I really don't know, because unless like they were in a relationship themselves and they wanted to get things a little spicy,
Yeah, Jack Harlow said it himself, man. Already best friends. Listen to that song.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about them, but if it was me, I think they probably already did that before.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to the guy that literally like picked up the bro and took him home because I'm not gonna lie, he probably would have ended up walking home at that point. I don't think any of the girls would have taken him. Well, actually, I lied. I think they probably would have.
They wouldn't have taken him home. They would have took him to their house.
Yeah, he probably would have had a happy ending, huh?
See, I'm wondering like why the other friend got left out.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
He was there the whole time, and he just witnessed his bro. He just saw him like with one girl, and then when she left, the other girl. He was probably thinking, well, what about me?
Where's my action, right?
Yeah. Unless
Uh,
unless he had two other people with him.
Oh my God, you're probably right. I mean, we never the other guy was never once mentioned. You're right. It was just the girls. So who knows? By all means, he could have been enjoying himself with a bartender. You never know about these bartenders, man. I'll tell you.
Yeah. I mean, I really wonder how it would be to be a bartender, because both of your stories, they had some really good experiences in my end.
Oh, 100%. I think we definitely have to do a bartending story, a bartending video sometime soon,
Oh yeah,
because
definitely.
I can only imagine the different types of stories that they get. I mean, for instance, right? I was a server at one point, and I've heard a few stories where bartenders would either make $400 a day, like a night, or would have endless memories that literally stick within. Like for instance, the bartender that I was really close with, where I worked at, she was single, and safe to say that there are a lot of people that went further and beyond for that person, and I mean there was a few fights that took place. That's all I gotta say.
Well, yeah, that wouldn't surprise me right there.
100%. And if you're a guy that's literally probably like blacked out drunk, no, not necessarily blacked out drunk. You can be regularly drunk, and I'm sure that you can, once you're drunk, man, you can get pretty cocky and pretty arrogant, man, and you start to do some stupid things.
Yeah, depending on how you're drunk as well, because as you saw that one guy, he smacked the booty, and he, you never know what could happen. You saw the guy,
Uh,
his eye socket.
Yeah, yeah. What if the girls are drunk? That's before they fought.
Oh, that
Actually,
is
no,
true right there.
no. They were driving though. They were driving.
You still never know. They could have been driving while intoxicated.
You're right, but I'm just trying to shed some daylight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish we got an update on that. I think that one was probably one of the that one could go any way. Is what I'm saying.
That is true. That is true.
Right then, everyone. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, give us some Reddit story themes if you have any. We'll be shouting out a commenter in the next video.
As Quan said, thank you guys for everything, and I hope you guys like this video. It's been a good one. Take care.
And good night.